Hello, Mark Lowdy here with yet another of our nominees for the Hongbao Media Savvy Awards 2018. Colin Wee from Well Enable Holdings, taking part in a radio interview on Money FM. And Colin, you really aced it. It was very impressive to listen to you and the way that you told some amazing stories about your work in Africa. Tell us a little bit more about your radio experience.
In actual fact, I was called by Money FM on one occasion, and they told me, why don't you just go and have a chat with us? So I was just arriving from Philippines. I went straight to the studio, and I was really tired. So that's how it started. Actually, there was not planned, it was not scheduled or anything. Yeah, scheduled just based on just appointment alone.
Yes,
yeah.
But you did really well, and partly because you had such great stories to tell, and you also drew great parallels to IKEA and ITE in describing your prefab building business in Africa. So how important do you see those stories to make your product come alive to your audiences?
I think I have a very wide audience every day on a daily basis. Some are developers, some are architects, some are owners of the projects. But most of the time, I think that it's very hard for us to comprehend because conventional construction method has always been brick, cement, and like the buildings opposite us and stuff like that. So I was in a situation where if I were to tell them how to build a building conventionally, they would always say that, I know that. Don't waste the first 10 minutes of your time. Why don't you tell me what's your product? What does your product do? So basically that's what I shorten it. And I use IKEA, I use Lego as an example to always tell them, it's so simple. Because when the toddler start his life, the first toy, a couple of bricks that he put on top of one another, he actually say that that's a building. And he built 5 stacks and say, Papa, that's a building, Yes. And he always does that. So we try to put that scenario back to the client again, because most of the client, the main decision makers, they are not so technical, So
yes,
yeah, I think it's preparing yourself to the type of audience. Sometimes you have an engineering team; they only want to hear 150 pages of your product, and another one that decide and say that I only want to see 10 pages of your company profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and of course you've spent a lot of time overseas, Africa of course being one. You say you spent about half your life overseas.
I actually spent about 25 years living all around the world.
And how has that shaped you and your attitudes towards media and your willingness to appear at the drop of a hat in a radio?
As you said, all Asian men or Asian people, they tend to be more reserved. So when I first landed, I actually moved myself in about 20 over years ago in Australia. So there, I was mistaken to be a Japanese for the next 5 years, and that again took me through an evolution of understanding culture. Then I stayed in Indonesia, Hong Kong, Thailand, and etc. And of course, the last few years I actually spent my time in South Africa, which was our company was focusing to expand our business into the African region. So I said, well, I decided I would like to volunteer to stay in Africa. So I went there. Yeah.
But how does that experience help you lose some of that reservedness that you might have brought along with you?
Because every country you go to, they have their own style of talking, their own slang, their own twang, their own tone, the way they portray a presentation, a meeting. It's very different as well because of their language. But if you go through 1,000 meetings, you realize that the concept and the formula is the same. So if you go through that process stage by stage, at the end of the day itself, it is just how you start and what you intend to achieve at the end of the meeting. So we actually start to evolve, and I personally evolve from that point.
And not just in media interviews, you were telling me also too that just in meetings you have a get to the point strategy. Tell us about that.
Yes. In actual fact, of course, in the early days when I was presenting to even the Thai road ministries, we have infrastructure business as well. Some of our business background, we have over 72 years of businesses experience. And during that one of the oldest business that I manage, one of the founder of the company, which is already deceased, he used to put it in a briefcase like Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. He used to put his product and his services, and he goes to door. He does that. But today itself, you can't do business like that. You die, That's where the the interest of media coming into play. Of course, we have a lot of interviews on newspaper, but never in public, never in big bright lights, good camera, and a very exciting host in front of you, you know, that you always try to say that, are you doing the right thing, you know? So I think in that process, we evolve as well.
Yeah.
You know?
But as a business leader, trying to promote your business and build
If
your
it's a
profile.
business, please read about it all the time. You know, I think it's very important that people read about it, understand what your business model is about and what you're trying to achieve with them together. I think, yeah. I mean,
But how important is it for you as a business leader to be in the media, to build your profile, to win customers, build your brand, attract talent, and so on?
I think I'm not Steve Jobs, you know. He stands on stage with his black tees and his denim jeans, and he said, iPhone, you know. I wish I could be that as well, you know. It takes time to evolve, and it takes time and opportunity like yourself to, you know, like your company, to allow people, humble people like us, to come in and say that let's do something about it. Let's talk about your business. Let's get into the media, you know. I think end of the day itself is process and opportunity as well. And I really think that you're doing very well for the business environment as well, you know, to create that window for these leaders to come in and expose themselves.
That's very kind of you, thank you. But I have to tell you as well, Steve Jobs practiced a lot before he gave those keynote addresses.
This is my second time on the screen as well.
Well, you're doing very well. And all the best for the Hongbao Media Savvy
very
Awards
much.
2018. Thank you for coming in
Thank
today.
you very much.
Colin Wee from Well-Enable Holdings joining us here. And we will be announcing the winner of the Hongbao Media Savvy Awards 2018 on the 23rd of November. Look out for it then. Good luck.
Thank you.